In some of the sacred music we heard last week, I bet you noticed that the music didn't just enhance the liturgy in a general sense, but it also seemed to address specific phrases of sacred text and the feelings behind them. This exploration of music's power to express human feeling was a really important contribution by the Renaissance musicians. The composers from the Renaissance derived inspiration from their exploration of music's expressive powers from reports of the music by ancient Greece, just the same as the artists and the architects were modeling their work after ancient Greek art and architecture. Plato testified that music was capable of arousing emotions in a very powerful way. In the Bible, when Saul is troubled by an evil spirit, David cures him by playing his harp. There's similar stories in Greek mythology. Music theorists have written about this, how modern music could recapture its ancient powers. In their devotion to the ideal of musical expression, composers sought to match the words with the music. Two new important developments came about. First, composers wanted the words of their compositions to be clearly heard. They strove for accurate declamation. That is, they wanted to make sure that the words were sung to rhythms and melodies that approximated normal speech. That may seem kind of obvious, but if you go back and listen to the medieval polyphony, you'll find that that wasn't the case. The Renaissance was the first era when words were set to music naturally, clearly, and vividly. The second thing is that composers started to match their words to the meaning of the words. And this I've talked about before. This is called word painting. Word painting, Wright defines as depicting the text through a musical gesture. Another way to think of it is a musical illustration of the meaning of a word. And here's some examples. This next song, that's the French word for song is chanson by Josquin des Prez, is one of his most outstanding works. It's a great example of the power of expression in music. The name of this song is called A Thousand Regrets, or Mille Regrets. I won't play it here in this presentation because I don't want to violate copyright law, but it is on the in the folder for resources and materials, so you can listen to it there. If you were going to write a song called A Thousand Regrets, what kind of decisions would you make? Would it be fast? Would it be slow? Probably slow, right? Would it be in a major key or a minor key? Probably minor, right? And would it be consonant or dissonant? And which words would you take from the poetry and give them special treatment? There's probably a dozen things that you could say about this song. I just want to point out a few things. First is that there's only two homophonic moments, and those happen on the words, I feel such great sorrow, and again at the end on the last line, my days are numbered. The word that stands out to me, if I were going to set this to music, is the word pain. And the way that he emphasizes the word pain is by elongating that note and the expressive use of the half-step interval in the lower voice. This chanson was written in what's called the Phrygian mode. It's close to the minor scale, but the half-step happens between the first and two scale steps. And here, Josquin uses scale steps 1 and 2 very effectively in the lower voice of each pair. On the words, I feel such great sorrow, it's particularly effective. It's the first homophonic moment. It stands out not only because of its unanimous statement of such crucial lyrics, I feel such great sorrow, but also because it's the first time that we hear all four voices sing together. And at the end, on my days are numbered, notice that he intensifies this through repetition. We hear the phrase 3 times at the very end, and this time all four voices sing the words in rhythmic unison. The first 2 statements give us literal repetition for the first time in the piece, and the third time it sets up what's called a plagal cadence that ends the piece. The plagal cadence sounds less complete than the one that we're more used to, which is called an authentic cadence, and it's as if to suggest that the poet's pain maybe is not going to end anytime soon. Do listen to this piece.